changes all those things. And, it goes into me like this. I always say to people, this is a mental game, and have fun with it. You're going to go through terror. You're going to go through joy. You're going to go through euphoria. You're going to do all these emotions. Don't hold on to any of them. Just let them pass through you, right? Experience them when they're happening, and then use that. Like, I've matured in this industry, and I keep challenging other people to do it. This is this space. It's going to be all over the place. If that bothers you, you're going to always be bothered. Get used to it, right? Get used to it. Oh, it's just crypto. It's just that. And like I said, have fun with it. But yeah, it is, this is a core, I think, element of being able to sustain in this industry, whether you're a company, or whether you're in a project, or whether you're a cryptocurrency, or whether you're an investor. Right. I've seen a lot of investors just get burned out and give up. And I'm like, why are you leaving, man? This industry is all over the place. And I'm like, that volatility creates the opportunities for you. So, learn how to play the volatility. We're in a roller coaster industry. You got to learn to love roller coasters. There is no option.
You have to manage your emotions.
Oh man,
to me, that's a big thing. And if you can't manage your emotions, then you're gonna make those emotional decisions, and that's why I say get out your feelings.
I like that.
Yeah,
that's absolutely right.
You make a decision, like you said, if they're focused on data. So if you're paying attention to the data, you make a decision based on that, not by what someone says on YouTube or,
Correct.
And once you make that decision, that's your decision. And so you shouldn't be moved by challenges. I mean, it's going to happen. So
It's gonna happen.
I commend y'all for that, and even just if you speak Titano specifically, the amount of investors that are still here 1 year later, that speaks volumes in my opinion.
Thank you, man. Yeah, we're proud of that. The price has fallen dramatically, obviously, and the people are still here. And I think it's a testament to several things, but I think part of it is, while everyone's been slinging mud and saying all these things, we've just been working. And that, if you ask me what's the one factor that all of these successful crypto projects have, they just keep working. They just keep working, right? Through all of the FUD and they're done and all, they just keep working. I'm not saying that's the only factor, but I'm saying it is a critical one, not being swayed by, a YouTube video or, another project throwing FUD and, and all that stuff. And, I listen. But here's how I am. Here's my take on any of that stuff that's coming. I don't think that it's possible for anyone to understand a project unless they have the data. So when people come to me and say, hey, did you see this video? I go, well, that person never reached out to me to ask me a question. I mean, if I wanted to understand something, the first thing I would do is I'd go to that person and say, can you explain to me what you are and what you're doing? I don't get that. I just get a YouTube video where someone's going, you know what they're doing? And I go, man, these people are mind readers. They have no idea. And so I say to people, you don't want me to take that seriously. You don't want me to be, that's how I make a decision on watching some of these guys that don't know anything about what we're doing, what we're up to, haven't bothered to reach out. Hey, David, I'm concerned. You guys seem like you're off in crazy land right now. Explain to me what you guys are doing. Not one single time, but they'll make a video. So it's just noise to me. And yeah, we focus on the thing. We have a commitment to this community to do our best to build this project and turn this project into something that we all know it can be. And that vision has never changed. So I say to people, because a lot of Titans will bring me stuff and I'm like, okay, I watched it. Well, aren't you concerned? Concerned about what? That person has no idea what they're talking about. So, for me, it's the best road to take. No negativity thrown at anyone else. People are going to have their opinions, right? There's nothing new about that. But like I said, unless, Max Mayer, who has 1 million subscribers on YouTube, did a video on Titano a long time ago. And everyone's concerned, right? I like Max. I like Max Mayer. I don't know him, but I like him. And apparently he came in the Discord and was asking a bunch of questions, and everyone was trying to find me. I was probably asleep or something. And I never got a chance to talk with him, and everyone was nervous. Oh my God. And he made a fair video about Titano. And that to me is how you should do it. Come in and ask a question, and then if you think we're crazy, great. I've never had someone ask a question and walk away and go, "Oh, this is insane." Never, it's never happened. So, again, I don't want to disparage anyone, and people need to do what they need to do to make their money or whatever, to build their fame or whatever. But the bottom line is just keep working, and I'm
Keep
proud of
working.
these guys. Yeah, keep working, man. Keep working. Just keep working.
So
Keep your head down.
you made a statement. You said the vision hasn't changed, but you made
Yes.
adjustments. So let's, I guess, talk about how the adjustments that's been made.
Okay, so this project, if you go back a year ago and you listen to me running my mouth, what I was saying is I want this project to have a community that's at least several hundred thousand people, right? Maybe 500,000 people. And I want us to be able to be a cornerstone in the industry, right? And what does that mean? That means that we are interacting with larger projects, that we're providing value across the entire crypto space, and also that we are a bridge to projects outside of crypto, right? I used to use the example, like, imagine if we had 20,000 Titans who wanted to buy Teslas. I want to be able to go to Tesla and say to them, I got 20,000 consumers and I want you to take Titano, because Tesla understands that. That's how they do business. If you come to them and say, I've got a bag of money here, but I need you to do these things, those are the deals that they do all the time. That vision has never changed. Doing that and doing that within the crypto space. Let me give you an example within the crypto space. So metaverse is a big discussion. I don't really get metaverse. Like, my kids are on Oculus VR and I see what these metaverse crypto projects are doing. I don't I mean, Oculus VR is 15 years ahead of what they're doing. So I'm a realist. I'm like, you can sell me anything, but I'm from New York, man. I just don't get it. Now, by my estimation, these companies, these metaverse companies are going to have a big problem, because yeah, you can say to someone, hey man, you can get a taxi in the metaverse and people are going to pay you real money to drive your taxi around the metaverse, or you and I are going to end up in a coffee shop in the metaverse, our avatars, and we're going to pay real crypto to buy, metaverse coffee. Okay, but you got to get me in there. Why am I getting in there? Like, why am I? So I don't own the coffee shop. I don't own the taxi. I don't own a helicopter. I don't own a nightclub. What am I doing in that place? And when I go in there and objectively look at it, it's boring as hell. So the question is, how are you going to get in there? Like, why are you going to get people in there? Imagine if we could incentivize Titans to go into your metaverse. Imagine we could do that. Like, we could create within our protocol an ability to incentivize them to go. We're a hugely valuable community. So that's what I mean about utilizing our community to then go into different projects, different protocols, and make more value. You want our community in, you're going to have to pay us to come in, and we're going to fill up your community. Now our people are going to go in and use the taxi and use this and use that and use the other thing. That sort of thinking ties the entire crypto community together. And it leverages the power that we have, right? For our power of coming together. That vision has never changed with Titano. What has to change, as you were saying earlier, is how do we get there? What are the best tools to take us to that? To have a growing and vibrant community, right? To build up our market cap. What does that mean? It means that more projects, higher quality projects, are paying attention to us. And so what that meant was we had to look at the tools we were using to get there, and constantly, based on the data, decide whether those tools were the best ones that we can employ. And that's the changes that you're seeing, right? This is months and months and months of assessing things, looking at things. Nah, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, that kind of makes sense, but how are we going to sell that to everyone? Or that's too far away, right? We needed to use tools that are more, that are more robust, right? That are more proven, right? One of the issues with Titano in its current form is that we're constantly fighting against that degen project, right? Banner. Yeah, we've been here a long time, but when we start talking with, reputable projects, they look and they go, wait a minute, you 100 what the APY, what 102,000, what are you talking about? Right? And then what happens with me, because I've been in tons of conversations, I talk people down from that, and then we start the real conversation. And it started me thinking, suppose I didn't have to talk people down from it. Suppose we started in the conversation. I could get a lot further, a lot quicker for us. So that's what's changed. The change is we need to move from the edge of DeFi, and we need to move right in the center of DeFi, because it allows us to do more things. It allows us to move differently, it allows us to move better within the space. It allows us to have a clearer path to that vision we're talking about, where we're a substantial project in the space. Yeah, so that's what we were. That's how we made these changes, and that's what sort of the source of the changes. Like, where did it come from? Why a DEX all of a sudden? Why does the focus on a DEX? A DEX is a central core component of crypto that's not going anywhere, right? Let me tell you something else. So if you look at platforms in the real world, like communication platforms, right? So you've got social media platforms like Facebook. You've got video platforms like YouTube. You've got picture-based platforms like Instagram. You've got communication-based platforms like WhatsApp. And they all have the same goal, to get as much of your attention or time, right? They're time-based. I could have mentioned TikTok also, short-form video. And the second thing is they want to become transactional platforms. See, Facebook doesn't want to have to throw ads at you all the time. I'll give you an example. They want you and I to be friends on Facebook. You go on vacation to Maui. I see your pictures with you and your beautiful girl in Maui. I'm thinking about going on vacation in Maui or someplace, and I want to take my girl. I see your pictures. I say, hey, man, you went to Maui. How was it? It was a bomb, man. Well, what about that hotel you stayed at? It looks amazing. Dude, that resort, it was fantastic. All right, so you recommend that I go? 100%. Okay, well, why don't we book it on Facebook and you get a benefit and I get a benefit? See, that's the goal. Now, I could go into a half-hour discussion about why that doesn't happen on Facebook, but I just want you to see. They want you to do that on Facebook. They want you to do that on Instagram. They want you to do that on YouTube. They want you to do that on WhatsApp, right? So it's a platform that's designed to have all of these additional services. Let's go into crypto. A DEX has the potential to be a similar type of a platform, where you essentially go through it as your hub to do all of your activities. I just read today that Uniswap is creating a wallet. You see what I'm saying? So they're expanding on their services, because what do they want? They want your time, they want your focus, they want your revenue, all those sorts of things. So wallets are going the same way. If you look at MetaMask, what is it talking about doing? Right? If you look at Telegram, Telegram has a wallet. So these platforms are expanding out, offering new services to get people to spend more time. More time means more money. DEXs have an advantage, because everyone has to go through a DEX now. And with the central exchanges having all these issues, DEXs are even more prominent. So our moving to a DEX, the idea is, if we can position ourselves properly, utilizing this particular product, we would have an ability to, again, move down the road more quickly, faster, better toward our vision. So that was the thinking around the DEX. We wanted to go right in the center of crypto, not on the edge, where, again, as I'm having these conversations, hey, look, yeah, I know, but focus on this, not on that. So that's the strategy, the rationale behind a DEX. We want to move this project from a fringe project to a center of DeFi, which is the center of crypto project. Every crypto project runs through DeFi, right? Because people have to use a DEX or a bridge or something in the DeFi space, crypto space.
Yeah. So essentially, you've removed that barrier, and here we are, switch. And to be honest, yeah, you're actually opening up the opportunities is even greater now, because I mean, I use a DEX, like you said, all the time. You're on the
Right.
DEX, you're trading, you're swapping, you're doing everything. So
Yes.
it makes perfect sense, in my opinion.
Yes. Yeah. Let me talk a little bit too about this DEX idea, right? So the way I approach something, right? Anything that's related to business, like when someone comes to me, my first thing is like, okay, so you got this thing, who's your customer and why do they need it? Right? That's how I look at anything. And I certainly looked at that with, I did that with Titano initially, right? We were coming out of the time Wonderland, all those, that craziness. And so why do we need Titano, right? Because people had lost trust in DeFi protocols, right? Titano was a protocol that, Titano Autostaking protocol was one where you didn't have to trust your tokens on someone else's website. Your token stayed in your wallet, right? You didn't have to trust that you were going to, remember, you would stake and then a bunch of people would stake. The APY would drop through the floor, right? This was a fixed APY. So Titano didn't have to tell you to trust us. It was just, dude, every 30 minutes, you're getting the same amount of tokens in your wallet. And people got it coming out of that environment. So here, looking at a DEX, there are approximately 45 tracked DEXs on the Binance Smart Chain. Binance Smart Chain does not need another DEX. It just doesn't. So why are we, again, using my own method? Why and who's your customer? And what we've discovered, based on what I told you earlier about the potential of a DEX, there's a whole lot of opportunity. There's a whole lot of opportunity. If we design this thing in the way that I'm describing, someone asked me earlier, they said, so you're saying you're going to knock off PancakeSwap? No, that's not what I'm saying. If somebody came to me, and people have, and said, man, I've got a Facebook killer. No, you don't. You can't kill Facebook. You can have something else besides Facebook, but you can't convince me you're going to destroy Facebook. That makes no sense. I would say the same thing about PancakeSwap. You're not going to destroy Pancake. You're not going to take over PancakeSwap's business or Uniswap's business. You might see some things that they're not doing and they're not designed to do that you can do, which is what we're saying, but we're not going to take their business over. We're saying there's more business. And we think we can capture a significant amount of that business. That's what Switch is. It looked at the market. Listen, more than 90% of all crypto projects fail within 90 days of launch. And 25%, actually, a video just came out yesterday from Coin Bureau that said that less than 25% of those are rug pulls, right? So people go, yeah, but David, most of those are rug pulls. No, the largest part of those are just incompetence. But there's probably 30% or more that don't succeed because they don't have access to resources. Look at what we just did with Unico. That was a test. What would happen if we put our hand over that project, gave them some resources that they would have never gotten anywhere else? What would happen with the project? So it's a test case for what could this DEX be? What could it be? And so we found the path with 45 DEXs, how we can work our way through it with the goal of being a top 5 DEX on Binance Smart Chain. It's exciting.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's exciting. That's exciting. I mean, I'm for it, most definitely. So if I was a new investor,
yes,
coming into the DeFi space, what sort of advice would you give?
It's a good question. My first advice: run. No, I'm joking.
I mean, their first investment is Switch.
Right. My advice would be spend some time in the socials and interacting with the team, the mods, get a feel for the mood of the place, right? It's critical. I always say that, the best case scenario is to know people or get a chance to view people when they're being pressured, right? Teams get pressured in the socials, right? And you see how they act and you see how they react. That is important. So the first thing I would tell someone is, if you like a project, spend some time in the socials. Ask questions. See if you get your questions answered. See how they're answered, right? Make sure that you're comfortable, right? Learn as much as you can. Read the white papers, right? Read as much information as you can about the projects. And, only then do you make an investment. And when you make an investment, stay connected to what's going on. Right? And at the same time, like the reason, we talked about community earlier, get something out of the community. Titano's been amazing. We've had people, who visited people in real life who were Titans, people from all countries. I probably have connected with people in 50 different countries through that community. And it's amazing. No one worries about color. No one worries about race. No one worries about religion. No one worries about socioeconomic background. This is a part of why we're here. So as you're going around looking for an investment, also look for a community. Look for people who can support you. A lot of the people coming in these chats, and this is their daily hangout spot. So, I think for me, I would want, if I was just getting started, I would want all of that as well. I would want honest answers, whether they're what I want to hear or not. I tell people all the time, when you ask a question, you have to be prepared for one of three answers: the answer you want, one you don't, or there is no answer. All three of those are available. If you're just going, well, I want to hear what I want, you're going to get disappointed in this industry, because you're going to find people who will tell you what you want to hear, but it just isn't the truth. So I would say, weigh that. And then, the biggest thing is make a plan. Make a plan. You shouldn't lean on a project to tell you how to invest in their project, and how to make a plan around your investments. Make an investment plan for yourself. It could be simple. If you don't know how to do one, talk to people in these chats. Ask them, hey, what are you guys doing? Are you holding? Are you selling some? How do you do it? I did that. I didn't know what I was doing. And I would go around, what are you guys doing? What do you think? So those are the things that I would say. With regard specifically to Switch, as I mentioned, this is a project that's moving toward the middle of DeFi, right? There will be a 40 to 60-day period when we do the transition to Switch, where there will be, and I saw you spoke about this in your last video. People should watch it if they want to get some specific information and they don't have it about what's going on with Switch. So there's going to be a 60-day period, 40 to 60-day period where there will be it's the distribution phase of the Switch token. And then that stops, and then Switch will become deflationary. And Switch will be a traditional BEP20 token, which means that we can be listed on reputable exchanges, right? Anybody can find an exchange to list on, but 90% of them are garbage. We want to be on reputable exchanges, and you have to have a regular, token, BEP20, URC20 token. You need to have that, or else it's an uphill battle. So that's where this project is going. It means that there's going to be a lot less of the degen stuff. There's going to be a lot less day-to-day focus on price, right? Because that's not what the goal is. The goal is to steady. The goal is, constantly building, constantly growing. Yep, growing price. Yep, growing market cap. Yep, growing all of those things. But it's not a degen, 5x, 10x. We got 40. We shouldn't expect that going forward. I'm not saying there isn't the opportunity to do well. I'm saying there's the opportunity to do better, right? But we, if you Titans who have been with us for a long time, if this, constant price craziness is killing you, it's killing us too. So this is the response to that. But what comes with it, right, is, and you and I talked about this earlier, what comes with it is you've got to manage your own expectations and your own mental, right? Because people get, oh my God, the price has gone down 15%. What does this mean? It means that this is a crypto project. That's what it means. So, yeah. So that's what I would say to people coming to this project. We're moving away from being a degen project. But let me be clear. I don't have anything against degen projects. I get in them. I don't have anything against rebasing. I would get in a rebasing project that was smart tomorrow. But Titano's not there anymore. Titano's just not there anymore.
I mean, you grow, you mature, you make adjustments, and so you're right. In terms of mass adoption, and in one of my videos when I talk about mass adoption and more people, the reality of it is you still have people who rely on the traditional systems. Doesn't mean that they're happy with it, but opening up yourself to be listed on an exchange opens it up to those people who may not make that step or who are a little
Correct.
bit more hesitant. So I think
Correct.
that focus and that is that's a good thing to do.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you're right about that. And don't get me wrong, these exchanges, what they represent, decentralized, but they still are the doors for people. And if we want to grow to the size that we're talking about, right, we have to give people better access to get to the project. They're excited about it. Yesterday I spent well, actually, it's been over the last couple of days. I've been trying to get a friend of mine into to be able to buy some Switch or some Titano, and I'm always reminded of how challenging it is. Not just move. He's in the States, so not just moving like through Coinbase and all their craziness, and they don't have Binance Smart Chain, so you got to go from there to KuCoin. But then when you're there, when you're past that, it's like, so now you got to move to MetaMask. Well, what's MetaMask? Well, MetaMask is this. Now it's gotten better since I got into crypto.